In late April, early May of 2019, Eileen and Fidgit paddled from Panama to Colombia, 300 kilometers along the comarca indígena Guna Yala. The two women began paddling from the island of Salir, one of over 360 which make up the archipelago. These islands and the adjacent mainland are the territory of the Guna, an indigenous people who made their way down the rivers from the inland of the Darien of Colombia. Our first day, spent on the island of Mistup and its dot of a neighbor, Mistup Pipi, I first witnessed what life was truly like for people who live out here. And what is the key ingredient to human existence? Water. I was fascinated to learn that families dug pits in the middle of their islands and allowed the sand to sort of filter the water. The women then collected this brackish water and hauled it back to the huts where they were residing. The water is used for bathing, cooking, and presumably drinking. I was fortunate and grateful to be traveling with Eileen, a professional international kayak guide who returns to the Guna Yala every year because of how much she loves the people and the place. Every island we stopped at, whether there were 3 or 3,000 people, someone was related to someone who knew her, and many of them had heard of our paddle before we'd even landed. She knew many of the children, and there was even a baby girl on another island who'd been named after her. In almost 10 years of working among the Guna, she had earned the name Sia Sipu. It's Kuna for white niece.
What's the name of this town?
One is Nargana, and the other one's Corazon de Jesus. But they have Kuna names.
Nargana and Corazon de Jesus. In the Guna Yala.
Not a day passed that we didn't see other boats on the water, but we got plenty of time to feel like solo explorers. And especially once we were south of the main tourist quays, sometimes we had the entire island to ourselves. The region felt inhabited but not overrun, though that could be because we came just after the high season, both for tourism and winds, which runs from December through April. There was some infrastructure around the two sources of income, tourism and coconuts. Large wooden boats would haul the coconuts to Colombia, and tourism centered mainly around the islands. While we preferred to camp, there were over a dozen cabañas on different islands, ranging from a shack on stilts to quaint lodges with all the amenities possible to such a remote region. Everything was owned and run by the Guna, with travelers visiting from across the globe.
Tonight, we're doing Mexican night. Got tortillas, beans. I forgot about the beans. Eileen's cutting up the cheese. Queso. It's getting fancy, so we have to eat all of it. We have fresh water. And some guys came to clean up the island. And they were burning some of the palms, so we're taking advantage of their palm fire to make our chorizo, i.e. meat log.
The islands were peaceful and the water was beautiful. We couldn't have gotten more lucky with the weather, which stayed below 11 knots.
You gotta be bad, you gotta be wiser, you gotta stick together, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day.
Which was good, since we paddled a number of exposed stretches where the coast was lined by shallow reefs which would have prevented landing. So the biggest thing you could do was try to stay sane.
Oh my, hey, hey, hey. Where are we at, Eileen?
Isla Tigre. Or Kuna Fidgit. Or Fidgit.
Fidgit.
This is the old airstrip. Yeah, so from that gate, there's a little fence. They call it the tourist zone. La zona turística. This is our zone.
I was gonna say, but we've got this whole zone to ourselves.
This is our zone.
Are people often buried on the islands?
No, but maybe like one or two. So this was a chief.
What do they call their chiefs?
His name was Iguadinipe. Their chiefs are called Sila.
Sail.
But this says Siding.
I've heard him called
Yeah. A variation on Sila maybe, but Dumad means like big or large. So, but it's also like more of a chief, like more
higher up
level authority. So, but otherwise, Tigre, I know most of the communities, as far as I know, have their cemeteries on the mainland, like up a river, sometimes quite a ways, where people are buried under the ground in their hammocks. So that people are buried with their hammocks in a hole, and they'll put a bunch of things from their lives in there with them, and then cover it up, and then have like other things from their lives hanging around as decoration.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a whole belief system about where the spirit goes and the journey their spirit takes before it reaches, I guess, kind of what we would consider or like a heaven type place.
And Guna is sometimes spelled with a K, sometimes a C. Officially, they want it spelled with a G.
Yeah, they officiated alphabet recently, and there's no K. And so they do want the G, which the G, Misi.
Misi.
There's a lot of cats. The G you pronounce kind of like a K.
We got to spend a day on Tigre, a community where Eileen has strong ties. A guiding friend of hers showed us around town, while his wife did our laundry.
Sí.
Hola, holo, olu. ¿Cómo es escuela?
Mega is their the Congress house, essentially. It's their meeting house. So this is where they have all their meetings. They meet a lot. So in the middle, we can look in, and then we might be able to go inside with him. But in the middle, there's a bunch of hammocks. Rosalinda! Wait, this is Rosalinda!
Remember how I told you Eileen knew everybody? Well, here you go. This is Rosalinda, one of the industrious Kuno women.
Hola! You need to make a phone call. Están llamando.
She was taking us to her house to show us the selection of molas that she had made recently. It's one of the main ways that women are able to earn on the island to be able to bring money back into their families.
Mañana vamos a Viaduct. Y próximo es un día largo. Sí.
It's a very exciting day here on Isla Tigre. First shot at a shower in a week, then baby wipes for the win. But here they have a tourist zone. This used to be their airfield. They've got 2 cabañas and a shower. So I'm gonna go get gussied up. There it is, that water tank. Let's see what we got. Oh. All right, I can work with that. We're talking about the importance of having proper expedition gear. And here's Eileen to tell us about proper expedition clothing.
I am wearing Forever 21 leggings that I got from the mall in Panama City. You might call these periwinkle. Cotton tank top from thrift store in Vermont. Cotton hoodie in neon pink. And my new Mola headband.
An expedition is what you make it.
Por qué no?
Así es. That evening we got to attend the rehearsal of the local dance troupe. The tradition of dance, or as they called it, la danza, is kept alive through a series of yearly traditions and community gatherings. One that I found fascinating to learn about was a period party for a woman's first cycle. It is March 25th. Nope, it is April 25th. And Eileen and I are paddling from the community of Tigre to the community of Ukupseni. We're going to stop at some islands before that, but I just wanted to show you what it's looking like. Those are the islands we're heading towards. Truly, I don't think we could ask for better conditions than this. As we paddled further into the remote heart of the comarca, the landscape became more rugged, though the people remained friendly and ever helpful. This was one of our favorite nights, camping on Dia Dup. ¿Está bien? Bien. The man who owned the island and had been working the trees there came to chat. He told us with a sparkle in his eye about his daughters who were in college. He showed us the best spot to camp. We gave him some medicine and fresh water, and he cut open some refreshing coconuts and recommended where it's best to snorkel on the reef. Snorkel time! Man, I am so grateful for the people who sent us GoPros so that we could share this footage. This is awesome. There's Eileen again, making new friends with the workers at the Yandup Lodge. This would be the last tourism and cell phone reception we would see until the border. Like, we just paddled along white sand beaches for like 12 kilometers. There's 2 communities along the way. We stopped for lunch. A young man came and said hi. It's really cool out here. South of Ukupseni, the landscape began to change distinctly. There were fewer white sand beaches and more, what are these things? Hills? Yeah, not ideal for landing. I tried and ran my boat into a bunch of coral, so there's that. Guna community. Just past Playon Chico. We don't actually know what it's called. The flags you see are all political parties. Vying for the vote. And over there's the school. on the next island. Hey Eileen,
Oh.
I think we've got a tail.
We have a little goodbye procession.
Entourage from what town is this?
Mamitupu.
Mamitupu, where we met your friend
Laddie.
Laddie.
Suerte.
Oh, yes! Gracias! ¡Qué fuertes son! Los Pinos, the first island we've seen with some elevation to it. These southern sections of the San Blas and the Guna Yala are quite different. Or the, let's see, eastern? South and eastern section is different than the western, more popular tourist destinations. It's rockier. A lot of reef. A lot of reef water to avoid. The terrain became more rugged, and we began to see sea turtles frequently, as it was almost their egg-laying season. We continued to pass between 2 and 4 indigenous communities each day. Folks were curious and not surprised by where we had come from, but rather that we had done it in such small boats. Urbipi, they would say, the Kuna word for little boat. Woo! Eso! We celebrated when we arrived at Puerto Obaldía, the last port town in Panama. Here we are, Puerto Obaldía. I was here 6 months ago on foot. No idea where I was going or what I was going to do from here. I paddled back. We paddled back.
Yeah.
From Salar in the Carti sector. Now we're gonna figure out border crossing, showers, sleeping arrangement where there aren't bugs, sand, maybe a shower. Yeah. Time-honored trail tradition. We ran out of water, what, like 10 kilometers or so ago? So, pretty excited to get Gatorades and be not sitting in a boat right now.
Yes. Thank goodness.
What do you think, Eileen?
I'm so happy to be here. So happy.
The way I figure it, we've been stamped out of Panama. We're right here. So I was just wondering if you wanted to go to Colombia. Vamos a Colombia. Eileen, where are we?
We are in Colombia.
We decided to measure our distances in centimeters. So now we have only a couple thousand centimeters left. A mere couple 100,000. We arrived in Capurganá in true dirtbag style, giddy and totally wrecked. Ah, Capurganá, this beautiful hotel. Oh my. What happened here? What's that? Oh my goodness. What
do we have here?
Can
I offer you in a wet, useless dry bag?
Oh.
Perhaps it comes in a lovely yellow and it doesn't work.
Oh, perfect.
So this might be a top of your list.
Mm-hmm.
Continue paddling.
Number one. What else do we have?
We have Sardinas.
Oh.
The finest. Look at her. You zoom in on those.
Oh, look at that.
Those,
Yeah, she's like,
knockers.
sardines. How about these
I like
sardines?
to eat my sardines laid over a sharp rock, topless.
In the surf. So it jabs you.
My therapy ball. This
Yes,
is
that
come a
thing's
long
awesome.
way. What else can I interest you in? Another drive.
Oh,
Another
perfect.
dry bag that's seen better days. With this nice knot tail.
Oh, there you go.
Functions with the trash bag. A Sun magazine that's come all the way from Philadelphia.
I liked when you would read us from that. The Sun
There's
magazine
still
is
one
really
page
cool.
left. I've been saving it.
Sweet.
I've also carried around, I haven't opened this bag not once on the trip, so it must be really useful. Some more sunscreen, an eye pillow,
Thank goodness.
toilet paper, which didn't need the whole trip when you have the ocean.
Yeah. The ocean can.
Some postcards from Panama,
Oh,
which
cool.
I could mail.
Those.
Socks,
Yep.
icebreaker socks,
Ooh, nice.
and this little clip with a whistle.
Look at that.
It was left by teenagers on the beach. This is what I have to offer.
This is Eileen's shop.
Beans, tomato
I
sauce.
was gonna say we went grocery shopping hungry for this trip, so
Maybe picked up a few more items than was needed.
From Capulgana, Eileen headed back north to spend the next 2 days cobbling together a ride back with her kayak and a series of motorboats. I continued south for another 100 kilometers to the fishing village of El Roto, a sleepy little settlement just across the Uraba Gulf from Turbo, Colombia. From there, I packed up my boat and returned to the U.S. to begin planning the next leg of this journey, hiking the Continental Divide Trail. It was an eye-opening and splendid trip, which would not have been the same without the people involved. The Guna for preserving their heritage and sharing their traditions. Eileen for sharing your love and spirit, translating for and nudging my heart along when it faltered. To Trak Kayaks for creating the ultimate touring kayak. To Garmin for state-of-the-art navigation and messaging resources to keep myself and my friends and family sane. To Hyperlight Mountain Gear, Sawyer, Astral, Zero Shoes, and all our other sponsors. And if you're still watching, you're probably one of them. So a final and heartfelt thank you to my community, to everyone who's come together to make this possible, and to our Patreon supporters for empowering us to share this journey. I hope you like the video. I hope you subscribe. I'll see you out on the trails.